David, this is a story that I'm bringing back from a year ago. Now that it's New Year's, it's fresh in my memory because my daughter just gave a basketball interview right after New Year's, which reminded me of last year's interview that I did not know about. So, I'm sleeping late on New Year's Day and don't have to get up with my alarm when my phone rings. And it's one of the parents from her basketball team. They say, Darla, did you hear Darien's radio interview? Darien's my daughter. No, didn't even know she had one. She didn't even tell me. So apparently she had gotten up and gone in at 9 and had done this interview unbeknownst to me. So the parent says, well, she did a good job. Silence. Okay. So I'm like, all right. So she comes home a little later and I'm like, Dee, why didn't you tell me you had an interview? Oh, no big deal, whatever. I said, well, I would have liked to listen to it, whatever. So, okay. So, a couple days later, I go to a ball game at MSU, and there are people there, and they ask me in the hallway, did you hear Darien's interview? No. Well, she did a good job. And then there's silence. So I go into where we're supposed to sit, and her basketball coaches are there, and they're like, Darla, nice of you to stop drinking long enough to join us. And I'm like, that's funny. I guess that's a New Year's joke or something, maybe. So I sit down. Here comes the basketball coach. Darla, did you hear Darien's interview? No. She did a really good job. And then he starts laughing. And I'm like, what is the deal? Well, the radio interviewer says to your daughter, is there anybody out there you want to give a shout out to? She says, no. And he says, well, what about your mom? She says, my mom doesn't even know that I'm here. And he goes, well, what if somebody called her between the start of the interview and now she's listening? And she goes, nah, she's still passed out anyway. And apparently, there's silence in the radio station because the coach doesn't know what to say and the interviewer doesn't know what to say. And they go, so, okay, next, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So, of course, I go to Darien, I'm like, what would possess you to do that? She's like, well, you were still home sleeping. And I'm like, Darien, in the adult world, being passed out and in the kid world, being passed out are different. But thank you for announcing to our entire town that I was still passed out. And that is a true story, David.